What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about how we are going to unlock Red Hulk. We are going to talk about the War Scourge. We are going to take a look at the restrictions that each of the nodes will have, the new Scourges that will be implemented on this War Scourge, and which teams you should keep in mind in order to use for this War Scourge. I think this War Scourge will be similar to the Famine Scourge because Scopely made double or triple of the money with the Famine Scourge than they did with the Pestilence Scourge. So based on this, I'm very sure that in this War Scourge, it will be more important for us to do difficulty 9 and difficulty 10 rather than doing difficulty 7 or 8 with a lot of Scourges. So as always, if you like the information on this video, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content and make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so let's get started. And in the future, as soon as the War Scourge will be available, we will be doing 3 videos on how exactly you have to beat the War Scourge in order to unlock a Red Hulk. And this is going to be for new players, free-to-play players, for mid-range players, and also for veteran players or competitive players. We are going to try to address all those different situations, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss all of that. Okay, so in this video we are going to take a look at the tags and at the Scourges, as I mentioned previously. Here on the screen we have the new Scourges that have been added to the game. Once again, I'm not sure if this is going to be important because it seems more likely for you, it seems more beneficial for you to do difficulty 9 or difficulty 10 rather than use a bunch of these Scourges. And I'm not going to read them because I'm dyslexic and for me it's really hard to read some of these words. So if you want to read that, I will just scroll through them. And you can also find this on my Discord, link will be in the description, and you can also find this on Tauna's Discord. This is the source of the Scourges, so you can also do that. And now that we have in mind that we'll have these new Scourges, some of them are really tough, other ones not so much. But as I just said, and I will repeat it again, I don't think it will be important to use any of the Scourges. I think it will be more important to do difficulty 9 or difficulty 10 in case you want to get top 500 7 yellow stars Hulk on the first pass. Okay, so that's the Scourges. Now let's take a look at the teams and the restrictions. The restrictions are going to be Bio, Avenger, then we have Villains, and finally we have Skill. This is for the nodes from 1 to 4 and from 6 to 9. For nodes 5 and 10, as you should know by now, you need Hero Asgardians, you need Ravagers, and you also need Wave 1 Avengers. Okay, so with that in mind, let's take a look at the teams that we should keep in mind in order to use in these nodes. As I mentioned, I'm going to repeat once again, I think it's going to be more important to do difficulty 9 and 10 because it seems that Scopely made more money that way, and that's why they are also holding back on the Famine Scourge, because they want to make sure that you waste all your resources, so the next time it comes around, you don't have an easy time. Okay, so first restriction is going to be the bio nodes. So these are teams that you should use, and you should use to sack the nodes in order to complete them. You don't have to one-shot all the nodes, you can use multiple teams in order to complete the node, and that's fine because the amount of bonus you get for one-shotting the node, the efficiency bonus, is just not relevant enough. Okay, so first we have the Symbiotes. In case you are a veteran player, you should have this team somewhere level 80, level 85. Then we have the Web Warriors. They are still the best team for now for the Doom 3 raids, so it's a very recent team. Then we have the Gamma team. You should try to do a first run just to unlock a Red Hulk at 3 yellow stars and then place him on this team, and then you can use Red Hulk together with the Gamma team in order to beat the bio nodes. Then we have a mixture of Inhumans with the Young Avengers. This is a very powerful team. You can also slot here Miles, is also part of the Young Avengers. Then we have the A-Force. The only characters here that I recommend to play with is Spider-Woman and Jessica Jones. Captain Marvel, she's just there for her passive, so it's pretty much irrelevant. You can still use this team to sack. It's gonna be very important just to make sure the enemies don't have the cooldowns, so after you can use your main team. Okay, so that's all for the bio nodes. So once again, let's recap: Symbiotes, Web Warriors, Gamma Team, Inhumans together with the Young Avengers, and the A-Force. Of course, you can mix match all of these characters. You can even make a Hero Brawlers team with Miss Marvel and with Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man, and characters like that that are Hero Brawlers. Okay, so now we have the Avenger Tag, and for the Avenger Tag we have the first team. This is probably going to be the most important team, is going to be the Bionic Avengers. They are extremely strong, they're a little bit slow, but as soon as they have their first turn, they become very, very powerful. So this is a team that right now it's the top of the meta. It's required for all the tech nodes on all the Doom raids, and they are also very decent on Dark Dimension, so overall this is a great team for you to use. Then we have the Young Avengers. They were used on the previous Scourge for Famine. They are also going to be useful here as well, and overall it's also a very good team. It also is a little bit slow, it gets a little bit to get going, but it has a lot of sustainability because of Squirrel Girl. Then we have the Secret Avengers with Sharon Carter and Mary Hill and Captain Sam. A very powerful team. This team is especially strong if you have other skill characters around. For example, Hawkeye is also an Avenger, Wave 1 Avenger, and you can pair them up together. Then we have the Wave 1 Avengers. Here we have OG team. This is a team that is somewhat recommended for new players. I don't recommend it anymore. I think there are better options right now. But some of these characters were reworked recently and they are extremely powerful, like Hulk and Thor. Once again, you can mix match all of these characters because they are all Avengers, so in case you want to use Thor with the Secret Avengers, you can also do that. It's not optimal, but you might find a mix match of characters that is convenient for you. Okay, so now we have the teams recommended for nodes 5 and 10. Very, very important. And once again, we have 3 options here. We have Hero Asgardians, we have Ravagers, and we have Wave 1 Avengers. You can use all of those characters together with their teams, with their respective teams, so full Hero Asgardians, full Ravagers, or full Wave 1 Avengers, but I think it's going to be important to mix match these characters, especially the most powerful ones, in order for you to benefit most of the investment you have in terms of gear. My favorite characters is Hulk and Thor. If you are going to use Thor, you should also use Lady Thor, because that will allow Thor to charge up a lot faster, giving him more energy, more stuns, and more overall damage and sustainability. One character that you can also use is Valkyrie. She also gives buffs to the Hero Asgardians, and she also applies a ability block or a stun or something like that. I don't remember exactly. That's also very useful. And then you can use Iron Man together with these characters to extend the negative effects that are applied to the enemies. Now, for this specific team, you might have to change the ISO weight around. You might want to have to set up a Hulk as a healer, and maybe even the other characters as healers. The most important here is not exactly the team, it's the ISO weight that you are using to make sure that this team is alive. So some characters you might have to change to Fortifier, other characters you might have to change to healer, just for this specific Scourge. Yes, I know it's annoying, and this is why not many people are gonna try to get top 500, because it's just too much resources in mix matching different characters and different ISO weight just to clear this Scourge. Okay, moving on to the next team, we have other option that I find very cool, which is Hulk, Thor, Lady Hulk, Lady Thor, and Star-Lord, T'Challa, and Yondu. Yondu is very good because he's able to summon the minions, and the minions that he summons are very powerful. You kinda want to keep Star-Lord, T'Challa next to Hulk because he has the evades that he gives to himself. And overall, I think this is also going to be another very useful option. Okay, now we have the villain nodes. The villain nodes is the nodes 6 and 7. And the villains overall, it's very easy. So you want to use characters that you don't need in other nodes. So you don't want to use bio characters, you don't want to use villain Avengers characters, which I don't think we have any. And you also don't want to use any villain skill characters because skill is the last tag. So the first option that we have is the Weapon X. This team is still extremely strong and they completely destroyed the previous Scourges, so I think they will do just fine on this one as well. Then we have the Darkhold team. Very powerful characters. This time we don't have cosmic nodes, so you can use Strange Supreme together with Morgan Le Fay and Agatha. Then we have the Black Order. Black Order is a very fast team early on, and then they lose their fire, but that's fine, because this is a team that you want to use to sack the nodes, to make sure that you do a big damage to one specific enemy, or that you make your enemies to lose part of their cooldowns. The same goes for the Brotherhood. This is also a team that you want to use to sack the nodes, to make sure that the enemies waste their cooldowns, so after you can use your main team in order to clear the nodes. Finally, we have the Marauders. Very powerful, this team, because they slow the enemies with Emma Frost. Madeline Pryor also very powerful on this team because she applies ability block, defense down and other negative effects to multiple targets. Just make sure that she's not ability blocking one character that has an important cooldown, otherwise if you ability block that enemy, is going to have the ability available after, so you need to keep that in mind. But with Mr. Sinister cloning the enemies and so on, this might be a convenient team to clear up the node. Maybe you attack it with one team and then you attack it with another one, you have just a few enemies left. This can be a team that is nice to clear up the remaining enemies. Okay, now we have the final tag. This is going to be nodes 8 and 9, and the requirements is skill. So we have the base skill team that we use for Alliance Wars, also Cosmic Crucible, also different game modes. This team is very powerful. We have Secret Avengers with Kestrel and Nick Fury. If Kestrel is together with Nick Fury or Cosmic Hero ally, she's going to get more HP, so it's very important that she has the maximum amount of HP in case you want to use her on your main team, because otherwise she will be just too squishy, so keep that in mind. Then we have a team that it didn't have viability until this patch. Now it's a possibility in case for any reason you used these characters in the past. We have Mercenaries with Kingpin, Taskmaster, Killmonger and Bullseye. This team is pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it's pretty decent. Once again, you can use it to sack the nodes, especially Taskmaster because he applies blind to the enemies. The enemies waste their ultimates, so unlike ability block from Madeline Pryor, if you use Taskmaster to apply blinds to specific characters, they are going to waste all their ultimate abilities, and that's very important. Okay, finally, I think this is the last team. Yes, this is the last team, and we have the skill military team. This team is 100% garbage. They were never good. We have some fast characters here like Hawkeye and Black Widow. So this is a team that you might want to use to sack the node, but beyond that, this is nothing special. And once again, you should be careful with using Hawkeye and Black Widow, because they are also useful for nodes 5 and 10. And maybe if you have some problems on node 5, then you want to make sure that you have these characters available for node 10 in case you need to sack that node as well. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video, the teams that you should have in mind in order for you to unlock Red Hulk at 7 yellow stars on the first pass. This is going to be for the top 500, and as I mentioned before, we are going to have videos in the channel with the 3 different approaches. If you are a new player, a mid-range player, or a veteran player, or in case you want to max out the whole event on the first pass, you're gonna have videos on all of that. So as always, if you like the information on this video, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.